So when I attack the back, first I have to have good position, and then this week we're going to talk about if I fall, you know, we might teeter to one side or the other. In fact, it's more common that we do that than we sit like this. So this week we're going to talk about one specific side because the attacks are a little bit different on each side. First, our positioning. When I'm on the back, I should have the pinky side of my feet in contact with his thighs here, not crossed, but I'm trying to create a little bit of pressure there on his thighs, just a connection that I keep. One arm's going to go under one of his arms, and one arm is going to go over one of his arms. I'll actually do it the other way. One, whichever way it is, one goes under, one goes over. The one that's over stabs him in the chest, and the other one holds the hilt. And you notice that I'm turning my palm down to do that. So not like this, it's just not as good a grip, easier to strip. Okay, so again, there's my one connection. Here's my harness, hooks, 1, 2 hooks, and a harness is what I need. Stab him in the chest with the over and hold the hilt. And what you really want when you have the back is you want to be his second head. I want to be right there. So I tend not to do it so I'm not shouting in someone's ear like while I'm instructing. But don't let that, you know, take away from the fact that it's true that once I'm on the back, is just another wedge. My arm on one side of his head and my chin on the other is a great wedge to keep his head in place. It's going to keep, you know, stop some of the escapes that he might do. So that's the position that we want. Okay, so once we're positioned, I'm going to talk today about if we fall to, is this and this. What if we fall to the choking arm side, the one that's on the top? And I call this the overside. Some people call this the strong side because a lot of people like to fall to the overside, and it got the name strong side then. When I fall to the overside, I still can set up our collar choke, and that's going to be the first move that we do today. I'm going to use my helper hand, not my choking hand. The one that's on top, the over, is the arm. It's always the arm I'm going to choke him with, right? The over. So the under is the helper. The under is going to flip one collar over. I flipped it all the way over. And then this one's going to put in my thumb as deep as I can here. And I can hold on to the material that I have flipped over with 2 fingers. And I'll tell you maybe why later. But 2 fingers is good. Put my thumb in, hold on here. And now the helper hand is going to come over, grab the other lapel. And I should be able to choke him here. But because of where we're lying, my elbow might be on the floor. And I can't really get what I need to finish the choke unless I sit up. So the last thing we're going to do is sit up. I'm going to use my foot to kick down so that I can come up to my elbow. Sorry, that's the sound. And once I'm up here, I'm going to put my shoulder into the back of his head. It's some of this, it could be this, but I get the most power on this choke by sort of collapsing my shoulder into him. We fall to the overside, and I'm going to set up my collar choke. So the helper hand, not the choking hand, which is over. The helper hand flips this over. I put this thumb in, and I'm going to grab with 2 fingers. Then I'm going to grab the other collar and use this leg to kick down, get up to my elbow. And I'm going to add forward pressure. I'm just collapsing at the shoulder forward like this. If I have a grip like this, and he pulls his lapel out, 1, 2, 3, 4. But for some reason, when I only have 2, it doesn't challenge my wrist in the same way because the pinky's not getting pulled. So when he pulls this, it's much easier to hold on to. It's just a little physics thing because of the structure of my hand bones. So last one, here. Fall sideways. The helper opens. The choking thumb goes in. The helper grabs the other one. And we're always pulling the slack out of this while I sit up to my elbow, drive my shoulder forward. What if I get up to here and so bring your butt over my bottom hook. Yeah, and he starts to escape. Now I don't have the back anymore. Now what do I do? Okay. So that's a good what if. Let's go back one step. So I've got that hook in. And I had the whole choke set up. And we were on my forearm. Again, the what if is, what if he brings his body over my bottom hook? Now I don't have his back. I have 0 hooks now, right? But I'm still behind him, and I still have the ability to finish this choke. If I bring my knee up behind his head, so this one that I'm like, it's just along his body now because he got his butt over it. going to bring that knee up behind his head, put my elbow on my knee, and I should be able to finish it right here. And there's not a direction he can turn that gets him out of the seat. This is a good solid choke right here. So I have this hook in here, and I set up this whole choke, kicked up to my forearm, but then the guy starts escaping. He starts escaping, and I don't do anything. He might get away. But if I do take away this space, so I have this knee is like hovering near his hip, kind of, but the other knee is right behind his head, and I put my elbow on my knee, and I can from here again use my shoulder, and then sort of my wrist grips, just a little wrist movement to choke him. You do everything right on the first one. When you fall on your side, you flip the collar, you put your thumb in, you got 2 fingers, remember all the pieces. You kick down to get up to your elbow, but then you find that the guy's, he Houdini's away from your back control. So now I'm just going to bring my knee up. Behind his head, put my elbow on my knee, and I still have the same grips, and I can use my wrists, but especially using my shoulder on the back of his head is what's going to help us finish this choke. So the second move that I showed you sort of follows the first one, and the third one's going to follow the second. It's another kind of play. So here we are. We fall to the side. I set up my choke. Okay, and I pop up to my elbow. I'm giving him some slack. Now he escapes. Okay, I pop up to here. Now, if for some reason it's just not happening, what I'm going to do is step over. I have this leg here. I'm going to step over and fall this way, toward his feet, kind of. This way, sorry. Throw my leg over his shoulder so that he can't stay with me. It's even better if I get in here, if I get under his arm. But now I have like all the pull in the world to finish this choke, right? And I come up to here, and I don't know, guy's just so tough. It's not happening here. Maybe his chin's in the mix, and I just need more to finish this choke. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to pick this foot up. This foot gets light when I lean this way a little bit. So lean this way a little bit, step over, and now I'm going to fall exactly the other way, toward his feet, kind of. If it helps, open this foot up. Yeah. So if I open this foot, I can fall this way, and then just catch his shoulder. That's so he can't turn with me. And then I have, it's almost like a bow and arrow type angle, but I have my whole back, I have all the power of my back. So even if his chin was in it, there would still be a tap. Probably be a crank at that point, but you just are so powerful once you get your legs and your back muscles in the mix. That is a good finish for the tough guy. I switched to this one, and darn it, he just won't go. So I'm going to lean this way, lean right, leg over, lean left to fall. You can open this foot up like I just did here. So to fall this way, and just catch his shoulder, and I'm still hanging him by his gi here. But now I have the power of my legs and my back to finish. This is a very powerful finishing choke for this move. So let's have you guys do it. 3, 2, 1. Sometimes he'll bring his top knee to his chest before I put this second hook in. This is if we took the back a different way. If ever have the bottom hook but not the top hook, and he's defending me putting this in, and especially if I'm Joe, right? Like you have way less flexible hips than I do. I want to make this easy for myself. So everything about the back I'm going to keep the same, and I'm going to cross my feet as if I had the guard or something. Okay? And now I've got a nice bite on his bottom leg here. And now I'm just going to use my back to stretch him out. And now it fits real easy. So I'm just attaching to him and opening him up by extending my own body, extends his body. So we're here, and by virtue of the way that I took the back, I don't have the top hook yet. I only have the bottom hook. He brings his knee to his chest. And you oh man, I don't have the back. How do I finish getting the back? Well, I can open this by opening everything. So I cross my feet, and I extend, and I hip into him. He's all stretched out. This sucker goes in real nice. If we fall to the side, and it looks like this, his head's a little too low. Remember, I'm supposed to have my chin on his shoulder, but if I'm way up here, what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to use this leg again, but instead of kicking down, I'm going to kick away while I keep the purchase I have on his shoulder girdle under the one arm, and hike him up. And now I'm at the right height. Okay, so sometimes we take the back and we realize, hey, this person is sliding way down me, right? So what we can do is fix that by kicking downwards. It's just a little bit different kick than this. It's downward and shrug him up. And now I've got his back. I'm in the perfect position again. So if you find you fell to the side, I'm too high or he's too low, that's the move. We fall, and for some reason, usually because of pulling or something, I end up back here, kick down and hoist up. And now I'm good.